Hi, everyone. So I just wanted you guys to see my lovely face so you could get a little warm and cozy feeling like you're still in the classroom. Every single day, I've been in the classroom making sketchbooks for everyone, laying paper out, getting all the materials ready. I wanted us to meet, this Wednesday, but I've decided that it's too overwhelming to have all the beginner kids getting their materials and then working with you guys. So I've asked you guys a question for today. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the camera and we're going to get talking about it. Ay, 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 my phone. So, anyways, the attendance question for Tuesday is: would you be able to come during your class time to pick up your supplies this Thursday or next Monday? If not, I will arrange a meeting after school next Wednesday from 12:40 to 3 p.m. If that way you guys can come straight to the classroom. My room is 132 and you can get all your materials. The beginner kids, I'm meeting them in front of the school. They're not meeting me in my room, and I'm just giving them a little sketchbook, a pencil, and a pen. Now, you guys, you have all kinds of custom materials that if you need them, I can help you out with. And so I can't handle, having 189 students. I'd rather have the 165 students. Actually, it's like 150 something. But anyways, all be beginners, and then the following Wednesday, or during class time Thursday or Monday is what I'm hoping. So that's an important attendance question for my planning. Now, this is obviously this video, but I'm going to go ahead and walk you through part one of the studio art slideshow. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can double click this bad boy and put it in present mode. Teaching is a 24 hours, 7 days a week job because teachers never stop caring about their students. Boy, is that true. AP Special Studies Studio Art, Miss Brown's higher level visual arts class. So, what will we be doing this year? What is the AP portfolio? What is inquiry based learning? How do I use inquiry in art? How do I get started? So, I know you guys are very eager. You're eager about your materials and what we're going to be doing for the whole year. So, this is why I decided we're going to go ahead and get started with this right now. So, the big ideas, essential questions, essential knowledge. Present art and design. Why and how do artists and designers present their works to viewers? Consider, write about, and or document materials, process, and ideas used. How to work shows synthesis, I can't talk, and skill. Questions that guided our art making. How the sustained investigation shows practice, which means skill, experimentation, which is risk taking, and revision making changes. Art presentations, decisions made in order to present who it was presented to, why pieces were chosen, where the presentation took place, etc. So that's one of the bubbles. Record personal experiences as possible lines of inquiry. Ask questions to deeper meaning of art. Seek to understand how inquiry guides artists to create art. Relate art to influences and awareness of art traditions. Evaluate art to understand use of goals, process, materials, ideas, and concentrations through visual evidence. Purposefully select materials, process, and ideas to investigate. Ugh, I'm running out of steam here. Develop questions that lead to in depth investigation, which is refined through discovery, evaluation, and processes. Using guiding questions to drive practice. Oh, I see an error here. To build skill, experimentation, and risk taking, and revisions when needed to inspire. Oops. Materials, process, and ideas should work together to support overall intent of the art synthesis. Make art that demonstrates 2D skills. And then we're also thinking about investigate materials, process, and ideas, what forms, why, how, and what artists and designers make. Make art and design. How do artists and designers make works of art and design? So this is an awful lot, and we've tried to segment it so that you can start getting the creative juices going and at least understand the overall big picture of what the judges want to see. Now, the AP exam changed last year from all the years prior, and that was really hard on all of us. And so it was more discovery, hit or miss. And considering that we didn't really know what the exam was like until mid year and then the pandemic hit, I think we did a great job. We got 36 out of 39 students passing. So clearly we know and understand. And I'm going to show you plenty of examples to get you going and excited. So I just wanted you to know the background history and that changes have been made. If you go on YouTube, you might see 2017, 2016 portfolio examples. Well, guess what? They are irrelevant. They're not the same as what we do in 2020. So that's really important to know. Sustained investigation is 15 digital images, 60% of your score. Just like I said in the syllabus that you guys should have read over, this is basic overview. You'll create a body of work that demonstrates sustained investigation through practice, experimentation, and revision. Sustained investigation of materials, process, and ideas. Synthesis of materials, process, and ideas. 2D art and design skills, or drawing or 3D art and design skills. You'll have to document in writing the questions that guided your sustained investigation, how your sustained investigation shows evidence of practice, experimentation, and revision guided by your questions. 5 selected physical works is 40% of your score. You'll choose works that demonstrate 2D art and design skills, or drawing skills, or 3D art and design skills. Now, if you're in special studies, you're still going to be doing most of these things. You're not going to select 5 physical works because you're not actually taking the exam. So you don't need to worry about that. But everyone else, it's still good for you to hear this if you're planning on taking the AP exam, and we still do the same kind of process. Synthesis of materials, process, and ideas. For each work, you'll have to describe in writing your ideas, the materials you used, the process you used. Works may come from the sustained investigation section, but they do not have to. They may be a group of related works, unrelated works, or a combination of related and unrelated works. So we'll talk about that more. I cater your experience based on each and every individual one of you. So visit the AP website, look at these example portfolios, and read about them. Well, let's just click on that and see what happens. Oh boy. So I basically put this in the syllabus, but here we have images and examples. So we're going to go ahead and take a look here, and hopefully we can get this to open. Okay, I don't care about that. So this is this AP 2D or AP art? I would say photography does not go into the AP art, which is strictly drawings and paintings. So this would be the 2D section. This is a photograph from a student. Here's another photograph. And there's 12 pieces that they have submitted. Here's another. So it's printed on transfer paper and flipped, it looks like. So they've done it on many different papers. Interesting. This is the process of what they're doing. Interesting. Tea bags. Oh, they're cutting and fitting it on the tea bags. Interesting. Oh, wow. I never thought you could even do that. Wow, that's changing my point of view. It's very unusual. I've never seen it like this. Art on tea bags. That's surprising the viewer. That's surprising the judges. That's why they probably picked this as one of their examples. Wow, now they're making it hanging art. So it's evolved. It's transformed into a whole new and unusual way. This is very interesting to me and engaging. Telling a story, giving looking time, you really need to work your way around it for each individual little message on each tea bag. Very unusual. Here's close-up shots. Wow, great lighting. When the person is saying "wow" over and over, it leads me to believe that they got a really strong score. So that they have given this student um, a strong representation of what the exam can look like, just to get your mind out of what you think you have to be pigeonholed into. So I don't know if they're going to give us a score for that student. Um, Let me see here. The sustained investigation concentration, you can read all this on your own and click on your own, but they definitely gave us an over. Oh, I see. Each one of these is the slides we just looked at. Hopefully, they're going to tell us what they got on the sustained events. I can't even talk anymore. So, the concentration statement that the student wrote. Tea as a metaphor for the power that bonds people with different cultures in the city of Istanbul. I took documentary photographs, images 1 through 3. I printed many of the photos on tea bags using my home printer. I then reassembled up the printed tea bags and then display them in a final performance. Oh, interesting. To find people's stories, I went down to a couple of places and knocked on the doors of people I don't know to ask if I could take some photographs. The common words they said was, "Come in, I have tea." At the moment, I knew the element I was looking for was tea. I've been living in Istanbul for 18 years, and I can't think of a moment that there is no tea boiling in the teapot on the cooker. The political, social, and economic boundaries that separate the people of my city cease to exist when people are sharing tea. Faces of Istanbul, urban and rural, are settled in the same area, with no single boundary that separates them. The only reason I managed to meet a bus driver living in a village outside of Istanbul, as well as a repairman living in the middle of Istanbul, was the idea of sharing tea with them. Regardless of the differences in their stories, I presented the photos of those people together on tea bags with photos of Istanbul. Very interesting. That's the background that she wrote about all of her work that she did for the entire year. She or he, I have no idea who is this. So this person received a 4. Now, the AP exam, you can get a 1, 2, those don't pass, a 3, a 4, and a 5. So this person scored a 4 on their overall AP portfolio. And then they talk about the rationale of the scoring. In this concentration, the student has created a series of works focusing on patterns and designs that can be found in the various aspects of nature. In the sustained investigation concentration section, the concentration topic. So then they go on and on. They explain what they saw, if it hit the different points that the judges use. So that I think is really impactful and helpful for all of you to think about. So now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at another slide. I'm going to change my mouse. It keeps clicking. Sorry, I know I'm in the middle of recording here, but I just cannot stand it anymore. So let's see if this works. Okay, so we've given some looking time, and this appears to be a watercolor of flowers. And then a watercolor of agave. Now this is different. It's almost like you're looking at a magnifying glass microscope. Okay, so it's evolving, it's changing. You don't want to see it stay same stagnant, you want to see it evolve. Not my favorite, but okay. All right. Sorry, my Wi-Fi, I guess, is slow today. Okay. Wow. My computer will not load this. Okay, different points of view. They're using complementary colors. Okay. Okay. I mean, I think they could put more details in, but that's me. I'm a critical judge. So we look at all 12, and then you have to decide, is it passing or is it failing? I definitely think that this is passing, but is it a 4 or a 5, which is the higher realm, the more prestigious? So let's go ahead and look and see what they wrote. My concentration focuses on patterns and designs that can be found in the various aspects of nature. Although nature itself seems chaotic and out of control, when you take a closer look and simplify things, you can find repetition and pattern everywhere. This simplification of nature is what I attempted to capture in my concentration. When I began my concentration, I initially tried to create rigid structures and patterns in my pieces through the use of sharp lines and geometric shapes to highlight the idea of nature being comprised of patterns and identifiable shapes. This is how I try to convey my concentration in images 2 and 7. It's obvious that these two pieces are somewhat different from the majority of the other pieces. Image 2 is almost totally comprised of geometric shapes. Even the bees are stylized. Similar to 2 and 7 has a rigid I can't even talk, repetitive pattern, but additionally, this piece contrasts a graphic pattern which with the free form loose background. Next, I took different approach to seeing patterns in nature, and instead of contrasting them, I decided to zoom in to see patterns from up close. In pieces 4, 10, and 12, the whole composition is taken up by the pattern I was recreating to the point where it's difficult to identify what exactly is in the it what it I can't even talk. Exactly it is a painting of. You can tell this is a live video where I mess up, huh? Hey, I had jaw surgery. What's your excuse? Then I wondered about no matter what form something from nature takes, it is likely it forms and pattern. So instead of majorly simplifying or zooming in, I painted things as I saw them. This concept is demonstrated in images 1, 3, 8, 9, and 11. I think she meant the images are also somewhat simplified, but still identifiable. So, what score do we think that this young lady got for all 12 of these? Let's take a look. Are they not going to give us a score? Oh no. I expect to see a score here. Where's her score? Hmm. So they gave us this one. Oh, they're saying this one is a 4. So then what did the other one get? Hmm. I'm gonna see if I can find out. Oh, this one got a 5. Okay, so the photograph tea bags got a 5, which is what I thought they deserved, and then the painting got a 4. So I think that's very fair. It's all about the concept, not necessarily all of the pieces together, but the exploration. That is what they want to see. Okay, so that's two different examples. And we're going to go ahead and see if there's anything else here. So um, this is the quality, and we'll talk about that later. I just want you guys to get a nice concept. Yeah, so these are not the best examples I've ever seen, but at least it gets you going to understand what the heck is going on. Okay, So, what is a sustained investigation? Using inquiry-based learning to help you create art. It is the process many artists use to intuitively as they create. What is inquiry-based learning? Okay, watch this video that explains inquiry-based learning.
In the Order of the Phoenix, the fifth of the Harry Potter series, Dolores Umbridge takes over as the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher and instantly transforms the classroom into this textbook-based, standardized, test-focused classroom. And Harry questions whether this will prepare them for fighting against Voldemort, he who must not be named, and that's when Umbridge punishes him. And he ends up forming his own school within a school called Dumbledore's Army. Now, Dumbledore's Army is purely inquiry-based. While Harry is the teacher, he is mostly the guide on the side, empowering students to ask questions and find the answers themselves. They rely on each other and on various spell books to solve problems and answer their questions. It is a space of experimentation. And while the process might seem messy compared to Umbridge's standardized approach, the students learn at a rapid pace because they aren't wasting their time repeating what they already know. This is an example of inquiry-based learning, although since it takes place in the UK, it's probably inquiry-based learning. I don't really know. Inquiry-based learning has existed for thousands of years. Both Socrates and Confucius used variations on their own inquiry-based format. It's a critical component to the scientific method of the early Enlightenment, and it was a core idea of both Dewey and Montessori's ideas around student-centered learning. Padaste shares a model of the 4 phases of inquiry. It starts with orientation, which is often a form of discussion. It's where they become aware of the key idea. And from there, it moves into conceptualization, where students generate questions and they define a hypothesis. This leads to an investigation phase, where students explore, experiment, and interpret data, often in a way that's flexible and dynamic. It can even seem kind of cyclical. And then finally, they move into a conclusion. Heather Banshee and Randy Bell defined 4 different types of inquiry that you can view on sort of a spectrum from teacher-centered / structured into learner-centered / open. Level 1 is confirmation inquiry, where the teacher teaches the concepts, creates the questions, and models the process for students. They basically just kind of go along with it to learn about the process. Level 2 is structured inquiry, where the teacher creates the initial set of questions and kind of shares the procedures, but then the students walk through the rest of the inquiry process by collecting and analyzing the data and drawing their own conclusions. Level 3 is guided inquiry, and this is sort of the beginning of what we typically think of as inquiry. This is where the teacher provides the initial research question or questions, but students own the research process and the experimentation. And then level 4 is open inquiry or true inquiry. Here's where students formulate their own questions, design their experiments or their research, and collect their own data or facts that they then share in their findings. Here are a few places where you as a teacher can start with inquiry-based learning. In a language arts or social studies class, you can do a Wonder Day or one Wonder Week project where students develop their own questions and move through the inquiry process on their own. You can also do a Genius Hour project where students not only ask their own questions, but design their own product as well. In math, you could have students explore a concept and develop their own problems, which is one of the things I love about the What Can You Do With This process of Dan Meyer. And in science, you could do something like a science fair project or a Mythbuster style approach to testing an urban legend. The key idea, though, is this. If we want students to own their learning, if we want them to remain curious, if we want classrooms to be bastions of curiosity and wonder, well, then we need to have something like inquiry-based learning in place so that they learn how to ask great questions, find the answers, and share their results with their peers.
Well, that is hopefully a visual explaining what the heck is going on here. Okay. So I'm not trying to just feed information to you and have you regurgitate it. We want you to become critical thinkers. So I hope that visual helps. How do I use inquiry in art? Here is another woman that explores this, and it kind of touched me. And I think that hopefully it will help you further understand what inquiry is.
It truly came from the concept that I had when I was a child. I had childhood cancer, and I had leukemia. At the time, I remember a woman coming to me at the hospital, and she gave me an image of a happy face and a sad face. She explained to me that they were having this battle inside of me. She said, like, we need to help the good guys win. This happy face gave me a goal. And so I said, I'm going to help those good guys win. I continued to use both drawings and writing and just self-expression throughout my entire life. I wanted to share this experience with others. Today, we had a group of 2 families. So the families consisting of an adult and a child on each side. What's interesting is that when using art and the imagination, what I think happens is that the children embody some sense of that maturity that's there, and as well as the adults embody some of that childlike energy. And I think that that level of process is really what the magic is. The more they practice and do these type of things, the more they will learn about themselves. What is that feeling and expression about you saying? And what does it mean, and what does it make you feel? You're creating a picture and a photo or a map to your own experience. And if you wanted to work on something that was deeper, and that was an issue potentially for you, you could return to this space and repeat that exercise to connect with that emotion and with that feeling. And a lot of times now, because of our society, we lose that tangibility of those images. And instead it's on a phone or a computer screen. But there's some magic when you have the tools in your hand and you put it to paper and you create something that is so unique to only you as an individual.
So today, really, I did some art about it has all types of different roads to get to all different planets. Like you're in outer space and it's a maze. I called this little planet Plutnut for Pluto. Well, one time when I was sleeping, I was just dreaming about 2 children that were playing. They had 3 alicorns, which are like part Pegasus and part unicorn.
I came up with this little picture showing basically this is the grown-up self looking at all of our other personalities, and it's therapeutic, actually. I really enjoy it.
Well, you're making
What?
make that.
What is that?
You want me to help you out a little bit? Okay, here's the car, because you like cars a lot. So we did the road. Remember, you asked me, Dad, can you draw me the road? We did the road.
This actually is the first brick and mortar I've had so far, aside from being very much of a field agent. What was once a drab, lifeless lot or building has a sprout of life to it, so to speak. Not only with us being here, but the people that come, that give it life as well, and allow it to have a new story. But there's just a wonderful energy here, and I love it.
Joanna is my wife. Mainly, I just want to see her successful. I believe this platform is a true way to understand yourself and express that. Being creative and using your imagination is something she's taught me is the truest sense of self. Her giving that platform to all different types of myriad of people, from children to adults to groups to singles to whatever. It's a great message to keep going.
I feel that art as inquiry is about coloring outside of the lines, and then do it again, and then do it again, and then do it again, because life is all about either practice or doing it, right? To become an active participant in your life, I think you just got to go for it.
All right. So I hope that kind of helps you get a little bit more of an idea of art as inquiry. So, steps of inquiry. This is a diagram of the steps of inquiry similar to the one shown on the video. So, I don't really want to go into depth about it, but it's interpretation, questioning, having a hypothesis generated, then exploration, experimentation, data interpretation, and conclusion. So, it goes from orientation, conceptualization, investigation, and if only that thing would go away. Let me see if I put it up higher. Nah, it doesn't want to go away. I think it's conclusion. But anyways, oh yes. So here we had discussion, communication, and reflection. So that in a nutshell is what we're doing. So we're trying to find steps of inquiry in art and do those big generation, big ideas. We're going to brainstorm, sketch, we're going to plan, do rough drafts, creating, experimenting, revising, finish artwork completed for the portfolio art show that we're going to share. So that's the big idea. After you identify your line of inquiry orientation, you will move back and forth between conceptualization, investigation, and conclusion throughout the year. We will also rely heavily on communication. So not only are we going to communicate with each other, one-on-one, I will do Zoom meetings one-on-one individually, and we will be doing group conversations and sharing and getting feedback. There's no wrong answer, and there's always constructive feedback that we can do to help one another evolve and grow. Right now, you're just at the beginning stages, and it's going to be baby steps, and we want to enjoy the experience and enjoy the ride. And everything, in my point of view, is based on effort and a positive attitude. Okay? How do I get started? Well, finding your sustained investigation. As a class, we will continue to learn how to find your personal line of inquiry for your sustained investigation through the following activities: personal artistic philosophy, cultural map or a mind map. I like the mind map. List of interests, narrow it down together. Research, reading articles, developing deep questions, identifying your line of inquiry, and creating your question. Directions on these activities will be provided. So, my biggest concern and the thing that I want lasting for you is for you to understand what is the important to know your why. Oh my goodness, I said that wrong. Why is it important to know your why? So, we're going to watch a quick little video here about that.
How do I know? A lot of people, when they think of the phrase, how do I know, they always want to put the what behind it. How do I know what I'm supposed to do? The question that you really should ask is, how do I know why I'm here? Because when you know your why, your what becomes more clear and more impactful. If you know, like for instance, people know that I do comedy, but that's what I do. My why is to inspire people to walk in purpose. So I can do comedy, I can write books, I can be in a movie, because all of it is motivated by my why. In fact, I have a new web series out called Michael Jr. Break Time. We probably just did the 6th episode. It's on YouTube. So every single Wednesday at 3:00, we drop a new episode on YouTube of Michael Jr. Break Time. What it is it's me. I travel around the country and I do stand-up comedy, in case you didn't know. And in the middle of my comedy set sometime, I'll stop and just talk to my audience. And we've been filming this, and it's pretty cool. So we're in Winston-Salem. I'm going to show you a clip from Winston-Salem. And I'm just talking to this guy in the audience, and he tells me that he's a musical instructor at a school. So I was like, all right, you're a musical instructor. Can you sing? Let me hear you sing a song. So this is what happened at the last episode of Michael Jr.'s Break Time. Check it. So you're a musical director.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let me get a couple bars of like Amazing Grace. Can you do the first part of that? Go ahead. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Wow. That bro could sing. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now, once you give me the version, is if your uncle just got out of jail, you got shot in the back when you was a kid. I'm just saying, let me see the hood version real quick. If you know which version I'm talking about, just see if that exists. Let me see what you got. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. When I'm found was blind, but now I see. Yeah. Okay. Here's what I want you to catch. The first time I asked him to sing, he knew what he was doing. The second time, he knew why he was doing it. When you know your why, your what becomes more impactful because you're walking towards or in your purpose. So that is quite a difference, right? It's more meaningful. It's more impactful. Well, how do I know? A lot of people, when they think of the all right. So moving along. These are some questions that I'm going to be asking you guys later on to answer for Friday. After going through the slideshow and reviewing the AP website link, watching the videos, and evaluating the inquiry process diagrams, answer the following questions. What are the 3 big ideas we will work on this year? In your own words, what does each of the 3 big ideas mean? What are the 2 parts to the AP portfolio? What scores did the 2 example portfolios on the AP website receive? Describe what you see in one of the portfolios. What was the theme or sustained investigation of the portfolio you described? Do you think the portfolio you described earned the score it received? Why or why not? In your own words, what is inquiry-based learning? Based on what you have just learned about inquiry, do you think you have ever used the inquiry process while art making? And then number 10, why is it important to understand why you do the things you do? So that's going to be later, and you can always review and just do your best to answer this. I have a bunch of videos that I'm not going to play for you today. I want you to do that later. We're going to have different parts of the slideshow. And these are students from last year that I found that passed the AP 2020 exam. So you can take your time and take a look and get some ideas and feedback. Don't be intimidated. You've seen I want you to see a variety here. And so here, there's several of them and some tips that they have. And we will talk about that later. We're going to be creating a mind map to help you answer the following questions. That's the ones I showed you earlier. And what I want from you is in the next couple of days is to, let me click off that list of 10 ideas document. So what you're going to do is you're going to open this bad boy. And you're going to have a couple of days to do this. I want you to open it, go to File, and then make a copy.
All right, in this area, you are going to put your first and last name, Marjorie Brown. And I'm going to say I'm in period too. You know, you don't have to write to, but you need to put what period, and I'll know what that means, okay? And then you're going to save it to wherever you want to save it and press OK. So now you have a copy that I created. You're going to need to put in your name, your period, the class section you're in, including special studies. And for 20 points, this will be due on Wednesday. So you have today and tomorrow. Remember, I started asking you this question last week, so it's not that much of a surprise for you. We are in the beginning stages of creating a sustained investigation. This brainstorming process will help you select your concentration and inquiry exploration for your art portfolio this year. Create, I wish I was on one line, create a list of 10 meaningful ideas that you are passionate about. List topics, basic words or phrases. For example, relationships, skateboarding, love, politics, culture, history, education, the feminist movement, escape, fantasy, and many more interests you care about. This list may change and it will help us create a deep narrative to build essential questions for your art portfolio. Be reflective and take time to list personal ideas, topics, or hobbies that you are enthusiastic about depicting in your artwork. You are the storyteller. So, and here is the list of 10. And then it asks you to highlight your 3 favorite. This is what highlight means when it's in yellow. Okay, so you know how to highlight. It's right here. And pick yellow so it makes it really easy for me to see. Okay, and you're going to highlight your top 3. And I'm going to look at this with you guys and analyze it and help you narrow down the key concept that goes beyond the obvious. And just because you jot down words here doesn't mean that I can't help you and guide you to go to deeper thinking. And so that's what I'm here for. I'm not here to make your decisions for you. I'm here to steer you to the next level. We will work on each student's individual process to create a meaningful artwork narrative for your portfolio. And then I have teacher notes here, so I might write something to kind of help you go to that next level. Okay, so this is due Wednesday. I'm giving you today and tomorrow to work on that. So you have all Tuesday, all Wednesday. So that ought to keep you busy for the next 2 days. Yes, you will have an attendance question every single day for attendance. So there's attendance question today before the end of the period and tomorrow. If you have any questions, I will be checking my email periodically. If you need to arrange for a Zoom during student support time, we can do that. I hope this video helped you. I hope it inspires you, and I look forward to sharing with you more. Take care.